Meet our overconfident CEO. He just laid off half his company to replace his management layer with an AI world model, and he's pointing to a dashboard of perfectly green metrics to prove that the gamble worked. The promise of a world model is incredibly seductive. It's software designed to maintain a living, constantly updated picture of everything happening across the company in real time. Nobody waits for a Monday status meeting, and nobody needs human middle managers to carry context between the teams. But here comes the chief reality officer to shatter the illusion. Removing human management doesn't magically eliminate failure in your business. It just hides it in the noise. Back in the 2010s, when companies tried unconventional management systems like holacracy and they failed, the damage was loud. Employee satisfaction scores collapsed and the chaos was obvious. A world model failure is perfectly quiet. It might flag a seasonal revenue dip as a crisis, or filter out a critical piece of context, and nobody catches it because the system presents its findings with calm, structured confidence. If you trust a perfect-looking AI dashboard without human oversight, your company isn't running efficiently. You are simply driving blindfolded toward a cliff, assuming the road is perfectly straight. Let's step out of the boardroom and go below deck to the strategy floor. Down here, it is chaos. The AI system is making thousands of unmonitored editorial choices every single minute, deciding which anomalies to surface and which ones to suppress, without understanding the actual business. We can trace this thinking to a popular blueprint Jack Dorsey published. He argued for building a world model based purely on high-fidelity transaction data. The thesis is that money is honest, and every purchase is a verifiable fact. But there is a fatal flaw in this architecture.
Semantic retrieval is excellent at information logistics, synthesizing statuses or spotting dependencies, but it has absolutely no structural mechanism to exercise actual human judgment. The system will pull a false correlation out of a dataset, like linking a product feature launch to a spike in churn, and present it with the exact same visual authority as a verified transaction. Clean inputs create a dangerous illusion of trustworthy outputs. We solve this by drawing an interpretive boundary. As the data stream hits the filter, verified facts route straight to automation. Flagged inferences, the judgment calls, route to a human checkpoint for interpretation before any strategic action is taken. Moving further down to the engineering floor, we step into a dark, claustrophobic server room completely overgrown with physical cables pulsing with erratic light. This is what it looks like when AI rapidly generates software without oversight. The industry calls this dark code. It is code running in production right now that passes every automated test, but no human on the payroll actually understands how it works, why it does what it does, or what happens if it stops. AI allows developers to push deployment velocity to extreme levels, but as the speed increases, the actual authorship of the code completely decouples from the comprehension of that code. The required fix is a process called spec-driven development. Before the AI is allowed to write a single line of code, engineers must thoroughly define and document the exact requirements. The spec itself becomes the test the agent has to pass. To prevent critical liabilities, companies must build comprehension gates. You have to force the AI to make its structural logic fully legible to senior engineers, answering the exact questions they would ask before anything goes live. Finally, we reach the sub-basement. Down here, it is absolute bedlam. Thousands of autonomous AI agents are bumping into each other, attempting to execute tasks on their own without any central plan. This maps the infrastructure stack required for AI agents. Foundational layers like compute, identity, and billing are functioning, but the top layer, orchestration, flashes a warning. Enterprise-grade orchestration doesn't exist yet. Agents operate blind, without conflict resolution, failure recovery, or financial observability. Without orchestration, multi-agent systems compound your reliability failures. If an agent depends on 5 different tools to execute a task, and each has a 99% uptime, your system doesn't deliver 99% reliability, it drops to 95. You are stacking the liabilities of every tool in the workflow. Deploying agents without a central orchestration layer creates an uncontrollable microservices sprawl. Left unchecked, these colliding agents will quietly paralyze the enterprise from the bottom up. Snapping back up to the penthouse, our overconfident CEO is visibly panicked. He's finally realizing his fully automated dream is a house of cards, built entirely on unmonitored liability. Now, the instinct might be to pull the plug, but retreating to the old, slow, human-only ways of working is corporate suicide in the modern market. You have to leverage the speed AI provides. What modern leaders actually need to survive this transition is stack literacy. This is the mandatory ability to understand exactly which layers of your AI infrastructure are functioning, what your team is hand-rolling, and what is actually driving your business outcomes. You cannot treat AI as a magical solution. Leaders must actively mandate human checkpoints on the strategy floor, enforce total code legibility in the engineering bay, and invest the capital to build proper agent orchestration. The companies that win the AI era won't be the ones that automate the fastest. They will be the ones that maintain human comprehension over the machines they build.